We all know the climactic moment where Darth Vader turns on Palpatine and throws him plummeting down to the core of the Death Star. And for the first time after dozens of viewings, I had to stop and think. Palpatine only falls for a few seconds, and there are limits to how fast a human can fall. The journey to the center of the Death Star is at least 100 kilometers. There's no way that you can fall that in just a few seconds. So I used this handy freefall calculator and plugged in the radius of the Death Star, 100,000 meters. And it would take 30 minutes for Palpatine to fall into the center of the Death Star. That's assuming that there was air the entire way down. Fortunately, we can remove the air resistance, and even with no air, that's still nowhere near 6.5 seconds in the movie. But we're also assuming Earth-like gravity the entire way down, which is an assumption that we have to make, because we don't know the mechanisms involved for generating artificial gravity. And the Death Star is only 1.5% the size of Earth, so we know it's not making Earth-like gravitational forces from its mass alone. For all we know, there might be all sorts of unpredictable variables that could completely change the outcome. So I think we need to draw a line somewhere and just pretend that the Death Star has Earth-like gravity all the way to the center. After all, that's probably how it would be depicted anyway. But why are we even talking about the center of the Death Star? Because there's still a huge discrepancy with the movie. Palpatine falls for 6.5 seconds. That's it. And he appears to be falling at a fairly normal rate too, so we're not given much reason to assume other variables. Given Earth-like gravity and air resistance, how far can Palpatine possibly fall in the time given? Turns out he can fall about 170 meters, or 0.17% of the way to the center of the Death Star. Actually, Palpatine's throne room is on top of a tall spire. So I actually wonder, how tall is this spire? Well, the window looks like it's about 6 meters wide. That's a rough guess. So I'm gonna model a mock-up of the tower and scale it to the window size. And the tower comes out to about 230 meters, give or take a bit. So Palpatine actually doesn't even make it to the bottom of his throne room tower. And it's possible that the shaft here goes all the way down to the core of the Death Star, but maybe there's some kind of force field partway down the tower and Palpatine collides with this instead, possibly briefly disrupting the force field holding back core radiation or something. And that's what's going on here with all this blue energy. But I'm overstepping the bounds of the video a little bit. I've just always been curious about what all that stuff is. Either way, I'd say it's pretty clear that Palpatine can only fall a maximum of 170 meters, vastly shy of the 100,000 meters required to reach the center of the Death Star. But who knows? Maybe the whole thing was edited for time and Darth Vader and Luke stood around for 30 minutes before the cameras started again and showed us the last seconds of Palpatine's fall. But what do you think? Do you have alternate theories about what's going on, or other explanations for how he might have reached the center of the Death Star in that short period of time? Let me know. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. I post new videos every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.